Hello everyone, it's Dom here from Esports News UK with interview number 2 at Insomnia. Day 1, I'm enjoying it so far, it's been great seeing everyone again. I'm joined by someone from actually one of the oldest UK esports organisations now, Reason Gaming. It's MetalQueerSolid and MQS. You do a lot of fighting game stuff and management and stuff at Reason now, so tell us about yourself.
Well, for the most part, I play fighting games. I play Street Fighter. I'd like to say I'm quite good at Street Fighter. I placed just outside top 8 in our last UK online CPT, but I won one of the first larger European tournaments post COVID. I've been popping up in top 16s and top 16s up and down Europe. I even did a stint in the States.
And this is Street Fighter.
Yeah, this is just Street Fighter. And I've been since. Oh shit. Right. Words. And I've also started handling a lot of the backroom stuff for Reason Gaming. Adam's been absolutely wonderful.
I've seen him for ages.
He's a busy guy. He's a busy guy, but he's been absolutely instrumental to my development. Not just my development, all of our development at Reason. I mean, it's been tumultuous since Adam got the org back, but we're alive, we're here, and we do win things every now and again. But most of the time we come second. That's what we're good at. We're good at coming second.
I remember you winning at the Gfinity Elite Series a few years ago, and there was I think that was Rocket League, but there was fighting games then.
Yeah.
And but you're here at Insomnia. Tell us what you're doing, because I didn't realise actually. Reason are doing a few bits and pieces here, right?
I
can hold it if it's.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Well, Adam's here running the bring your own computer. He's running the server, so he's got.
I didn't realise that.
So he's got all of UKCS screaming at him. Which is not fun.
I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
No, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes either. The first thing I did when I got out of the train, I went to find him and I'm like, no, you can't come in here. So I probably shouldn't say this, but I borrowed a wristband to go into the bring your own computer area.
I think we've all done it.
I found Adam, and he's just like, yeah, he's the key, go. But he told me he might not be done until 3 a.m. tonight.
Well, yeah, that sounds like Insomnia to me.
I am worried.
Yeah.
I am very worried.
I'm aiming for 2. I'm hoping I get some hours sleeping.
I'll be happy. If I get 6 hours, I'm good. But I'm here. I want to say 50% networking and 50% content. Because I'm going to be upfront. Like, I'm not. I don't feel like I could be as well connected. I don't feel like I'm as well connected as I could be. Mm-hmm. It's always good to talk to people. It's always good to hear things from different aisles, different strands. I want to be a part of UK Esports, but I also want to. I also want UK Esports to see. I don't know if I want to say see us or see me or shit.
It's good to be connected, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to have I need to know people, and I want people to know me. I want people to go, oh, that's Ben from Reason.
Well, you were saying you've been top 10, one of the top 10 players.
9th in the last online Capcom Pro Tour event for Street Fighter 5. I'm literally just waiting for them to announce because they're doing a hybrid tour. There's going to be some offline events as well this year, which. Yeah. And I mean, we presume this is going to be the final year of Street Fighter 5 because obviously they announced Street Fighter 6 with massive wide read.
I have to ask for your views on the logo and stuff, all that hoo-ha. People saying it was taken from a cop,
do you somebody want to ask Endpoint Pete about that?
Yeah, because I really like. I put up a tweet saying it really looks like the Endpoint logo.
That's what I thought.
People were saying it's from a stock image site. That was it.
It is actually from Adobe's own stock image portfolio. So
the Street Fighter logo, not Endpoints.
Not Endpoints. I mean, But it does look very similar, right? I would like to. I mean, Pete's here, isn't he? I might ask him.
Yeah, I hope to interview Endpoint at some point.
Please ask him about that. Please ask him
I'll
about
try
that.
to remember, yeah.
Please ask him about
So,
that.
but you wanted, ahead of this, you were saying, it's good to talk to them because we have good UK esports players and talent. Fighting games, we don't always talk. Actually, when people in the mainstream media or other people outside of esports talk to me and ask me to name UK esports talent, well, I say, well, UK, we're good at certain games. Sim racing, we've got a few good players there. FIFA, we've got a few, and fighting games, we have a few as well. We have a good bit of a scene in London. People like Problem X, Ryan Hart is one of the greatest British success stories in esports.
When there was regular London tournament, I live in Newcastle.
Right.
When there was regular regular London weeklies, Adam would literally, I would get a train down from Newcastle every Wednesday night just to play with the London lads, because that's. Amazing. I mean I want to play with the best players. I mean, I run my own locals as well up in Newcastle. Like, I don't get it twisted. I don't think my own people are I don't think my own people are slouches.
Where do you host them, by the way?
I host them in Newcastle City Centre.
Oh, cool.
We actually run them out at Newcastle Fight Club. We run them out of a sports bar. The venue's it's actually lovely. We have like a mezzanine, and like the sun comes in, and we're allowed. There is a projector, but we don't use it. Yeah. But it's a good way to spend a Sunday, and. We also, actually, I'm going to blow my own trumpet here. We are the only local outside of London that have actual arcade hardware.
Yeah.
Like some events will have a couple of boards, but I have everything. I have multiple versions of Street Fighter 2. I have Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I have. Alpha 2, I'm waiting on Alpha 3. Someone please.
What are these arcade cabs?
Yeah, these are arcade boards, and I use Jammer. I have like a converter box.
Yeah.
A super gun, basically a super gun if you've ever heard of them. And I've got the super gun. The super gun I have is, I don't think there's another in the world like it, because it actually has built-in SCART switching. I had to sit down and work with.
We're getting techie here on Esports News UK. We usually don't delve into techie. I have a friend who loves all this stuff, but no, I'm interested.
I love. I have multiple PVMs. We use them for events.
What's a PVM?
It's a very good CRT. It's a big square brick.
I don't actually know what it stands for, PVM.
It's about. I've actually forgotten.
CRT is cathode ray tube.
Because I know BVM is a broadcast video machine.
Oh, BVM.
Yeah,
sorry.
BVM is broadcast video machine. Yeah. PVM is performance.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, I've learned something new today.
I have two 19. We run the retro stuff on two 1988 Sony Trinitron PVM televisions, and they're not cheap. Yeah. They're not cheap.
So fighting games. I mean, tell us. You've taken part in tournaments. There were two things you said to me before this. A sort of message to UK Esports you were talking about.
One thing, right? UK Esports. I love you. I want to get to know you better. But I feel like, for the most part, when people talk about esports in the UK, we're celebrating mediocrity. There are games we're actually good at. We are actually, believe it or not, the UK are actually good at video games. There are games that we are good at. There are esports we are good at. Go watch the Evolution 2018 Street Fighter 5 Grand Finals, please. Or hell, even you can.
Is that the one Problem X one?
Yeah, that's the Problem one. I wasn't there, unfortunately.
I wrote about it.
But I was absolutely elated for him, and not just because he won me $2,500 at the bookies.
Oh, nice one.
I mean, that's another thing I like to when Bet365 they have a Daniel Legris. I don't know if you like, but he's like the Bet365 esports guy.
Yeah.
But he really likes fighting games, so he makes sure that the people can. Basically, Bet365 they'll always be taking bets on larger fighting game tournaments. and they had problem at 25-1 to win the whole thing. So I'm like,
wow, that's pretty
that's
good.
worth 100 quid, isn't it?
Oh, nice one.
That's worth 100 quid. And then he top 8 winner side, and I'm like, oh, he might do it, and then he did it, right? But the message I want to get across is there are so many games that we're actually really good at. And I don't just mean the fighting games. We're sick at FIFA. We have some really good Fortnite players as well.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
but
one's here this weekend. Wolfies, I think, with Excel.
interesting. I didn't know that. I was at their stand earlier.
Yeah.
Because they were meant to have a Street Fighter thing, and the League of Legends tournament overran. So,
okay.
So they didn't do it. But I've said to them, if you want to run a play the pro thing or anything like that, I'm down. Just hoy me some merch or some shit. I don't know. But the message I want let's redo the message thing. But the message, right? UK Esports, I love you. I want to get to know you better. But there are games we're actually good at. I feel like for the most part, we're too complacent with just celebrating teams doing all right when we actually have games that we're really, really good at. And not just games we're good at, players you can be proud of, right? And I'm not just talking about the Problem X's. I'm not just talking about the Ryan Harts. We've got really good young and upcoming talent in the UK. Like we have the Four Phils in Street Fighter 5. That lad is so good. He's going places. He's winning things. And I just feel like it falls on deaf ears. I know we're not the biggest game, but I feel like we're one of the easiest to understand. You just look, just look at the life bars, right? Yeah, I mean, it's a bit simpler than that, but it's not as simple as that. But
it's easy for newcomers to see, and it's hard to master as well, isn't it? That's what I like about it. And it's raw, the 1v1. That's what I like about watching fighting games. You've got that raw 1v1. You're battling against one opponent, and half the battle's in your head as well, I feel. Because you're battling against yourself, you're battling against your opponent. There's no teammates. You've got to pick yourself up.
We are experimenting with team formats. There's actually a franchise. Capcom actually have a franchise league now. Please give us one in Europe. Please give us one in Europe, Capcom. That'd be nice. That'd be fucking.
I
fantastic.
haven't followed that closely because there's the Capcom Pro Tour. I don't know what the franchise one is.
And Street Fighter League.
Oh yeah.
There wasn't any. There were a couple of British players. Problem was loaned out by Mouse to Nazra Esports. I'm pretty sure they won the whole thing, and Infectious was on Vodafone. He was playing for Vodafone.
Infectious, Hurricane, they're people I think of as well.
Hurricane's. Oh, he's
in the UK.
He is one of three people who I like. Even on a good day, I don't think I'm beating. But maybe there's four, but three. There are three people even on a good day I don't think I'm beating. But I just don't think that people. I mean, honestly, the reason I didn't mention Hurricane wasn't because I don't think he's as good as him. It's because he kind of likes he doesn't really like the whole. He doesn't really see himself as representing the UK. Right. He sees himself as he basically has Africa on his shoulders. Like he always goes in with a Cameroon flag at events. So that's why I didn't mention him. Yeah. Because
he's based here, right?
He is based. Yeah, he lives in London. Yeah. But he basically has. The way he likes to do things. He basically has Africa on his shoulders, and he's still a very remarkable player. But that's why I didn't mention him.
One other thing I wanted to ask: Do you have other fighting game players at Reason, or is it mainly yourself?
I mean, it's not just me. I mean, we have the Claw Lord, we have Bolt Strike.
Of course, Bolt Strike's been there a while now, hasn't it?
Bolt Strike's been since 2017. He's part of the furniture. Yeah. I still don't understand how he actually manages his life because he's not full time. He's not doing this full time. He has a lot of obligations. You have to remember, he's a GP. He's an actual doctor.
I didn't know that.
He's an he's got a practice in he's part of a practice in Hounslow.
Yeah.
He's married, he works out, he's a doctor, and he's one of the best Street Fighter players in the UK. He's the best in the world with his character, and I literally have no idea how he does it.
What's his character?
He plays Vega. And I mean, we just got our final patch, and all our characters got buffed. Yeah. All of our characters got buffed. Capcom, if you're listening, please do Street Fighter League Europe.
I've got to ask MetalQueerSolid, because I'm trying to keep these videos to sort of 10, 15 minutes. No, it's good. I could talk for hours and hours, and I could quite happily do that. What I was going to say was, your title at Reason, and you say managing, what does that involve exactly, the managing? Other players?
I'm not just looking after the other players' welfare. I'm making sure that they get to where they need to be on time, booking things. Like, for example, we have a Smash player and a content creator currently out at Genesis in America, which is one of the largest Smash Bros tournaments on the planet. We have two. I'm currently as of even just before I came to this interview, I was coordinating with them to make sure that they were all right. I mean, that happened an absolute fucking whale of a time. But we're making sure that they're okay out there, making sure that they've got everything they need, making sure that they remember the passports. Not that I've totally never done that. I've never forgotten my passport the day before I was supposed to fly out for an international tournament. Nope, I definitely haven't. Sonic Boom 2019 never happened. I'll tell you that story after.
I want to know it now, actually. But
all right, I'll tell you the story now.
A quick version.
Basically, I travelled down from the northeast to stay with a family member for the night before flying out to Spain. In 2019, this was in 2019 for a tournament called Sonic Boom Madrid, which was a event on the 2019 Capcom Pro Tour. Yeah. However, me being the very smart brain genius that I am, I left my passport on my desk at home. I did not realise this until I was 254 miles away at Highbury and Islington Station when I went to get my passport. Fortunately, I was able to race back to King's Cross, get the last train back up north, and frantically WhatsApp Blanks at, I think it was like 11:30, and I'm like, boss, you might need to book another train ticket. He's like, what have you done? I'm like, might have left my passport at home, gone back to get it. And he's like, fine. So he put me on the 6:30 out from Sunderland to King's Cross, and I just didn't sleep.
But you made it.
I made the tournament. I got to my Airbnb and I collapsed. Okay. And that was actually a very good tournament. I mean, I didn't do too well, but Ballstrike got top 8, and Ballstrike got top 8. He basically had to run a Japanese gauntlet to get top, because he lost quite early, so he had to play from losers/lower bracket. I don't know what we're supposed to fucking call it these days, but I just know it as losers bracket. But he had to run a Japanese gauntlet in losers bracket, and he got top 8 at that event, it was a win. So it was a win for us, because we didn't do shit. We didn't waste your money, Banks. And good times were had all around, and that's the story of how I totally didn't. But yeah, most of my managerial duties at Reason are mostly player welfare, making sure things are paid for, reimbursed if needed, making sure people, like, knowing where everyone's going to be on a given day. We have. I mean, there is a lot more than meets like, oh, you just book things. No, you don't just book things. You make sure people are actually going to be there. You make sure that they're actually there on time. You make sure they didn't forget things.
Like their passport back up north.
Passports, or their jerseys, or various other accoutrements. And like, that is... It's a scary. Also, sometimes you've got to make sure that if people are in the public eye, that they don't say and do stupid things.
Media training.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm qualified to give media training, but I will. But I have had to poke people. I have had to poke people before, saying, like, I don't think you should say that. I don't think you should say it. I don't think we should say that, lads. You might want to rethink that one. But I mean, and it's not just Street Fighter players I've managed. I mean, I've worked with. We briefly had a Wild Rift roster, League of Legends Wild Rift roster, and I mean they were lovely lads. It just turns out they all hated each other. No, that's literally what happened. We had two relatively good teams, and they just both fell apart due to infighting.
It happens, doesn't it? And you see it on some of the biggest teams in the world. You see really good players. They're supposed to be an all-star super team, and they might not get along, and they might fall out. You know, we had it with this year in League of Legends with Adam and Upset on Fnatic. Real big, really unnecessary drama. Adam ended up leaving, and it happens. You know, on the big stage and the smaller stage.
I mean, I wouldn't say this is as big a stage as that, but. But the level at which they were competing, they were top 8 in Europe, and I mean they've all got mostly got new homes. Most of them are playing on I think out of it's because I've been keeping an eye on Wild Rift European Championship because I've got a good friend who plays for Rix as well, Snitch.
Oh yeah. I know. Well, I know
he's a very good friend of mine.
I know of Snitch from when he was doing Heroes of the Storm with Dignitas.
We don't talk about. He doesn't like to talk about that very much.
Well, it's sad what happened.
We
won't go off on a tangent. I'll tell you what. Let's do a summarising point because we've covered good fighting games. We've covered your message to UK Esports, your managing time. Anything you'd like to add about Insomnia or anything else?
I think Insomnia is really cool, and also vote Frenzy into Smash Summit 13. Vote Frenzy into Smash Summit 13. Nominate Frenzy. Vote Frenzy.
Okay. It's been a pleasure talking to you, MetalQueerSolid. Go follow Reason Gaming, MetalQueerSolid on Twitter, and this is interview number 2 of Insomnia 68. I'll be back with
Vote Frenzy for Smash Summit 13.
Vote Frenzy. You heard it here, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.